So, hi guys. Yeah, I just moved into my dorm at University of Buffalo. That's my bed. And yeah, I moved in yesterday. Yesterday was a really hard day, so I'm not gonna even try to pretend that I could have made a video. I really couldn't have. Um, damn it. Shut off. Anyway, um, today was a good day, and it's only 12:30. Yeah, 12:30 exactly, actually. So I woke up yesterday. I moved in and I cried all day. So I'm not gonna even cried because I miss my dad. Anyway, today I woke up at 7 and I took my life and went to the Amherst Pepsi Center. I had heard that the Sabres started practicing already. So I was taking a risk. I didn't know where the Pepsi Center was. I kind of had a clue. And so I went. And they were practicing. There was the people I know who were there, and I don't know many people who were there. Ryan Miller, Lollipop, well, Fern is Ryan Miller. I'm gonna go over the names. Lollipop is Patrick Lalime. Martin Baron, also known as the one tooth didn't kill. He was there, which was really cool because I didn't expect him to be. Some guy from the Penguins, don't know him. Some guy from the Leafs, don't know him. Ting Ting, Craig Rivet. Marzipan, Adam Mayer. He's mean. And Danny Paille. He doesn't have a nickname, sadly. Danny. And then there were a few others. I'm pretty sure Nathan Gerbe was there. I don't know if it was Nathan Gerbe. He looked like Nathan Gerbe. He had his jersey from BC. I'm 90% sure it was Nathan Gerbe. Anyway, so I watched him practice, and why is Marzipan a jerk? Marzipan's a jerk because he realized that I was scared of him very, very quickly. And I should be looking there, but I'm not. I'm looking there. Anyway, he realized I'm scared of him very quickly. What happened was he and Ting Ting were getting very, very rough by where I was standing on the boards. They were not checking because they were friends, obviously, but like taking the puck hard and all that stuff. Yeah, taking it hard. Anyway, so he learned very, very fast that I was scared. So he started skating really fast around me and where I was at the boards and generally making me stand away from him, and then he'd laugh, which was terrible. Marty Baron has really, really blue eyes, which is what I learned, and let's see, Lollicopter is adorable. I was standing around and he was getting ready, and I waved, and he waved back with his huge ass glove, and I was like, Lollicopter! I kind of wanted to tell him that his nickname was Lollicopter, just so he could be like, anyway, I learned something today. I learned how dedicated Ryan Miller is. Sounds kind of weird that you wouldn't know, but what happened was, like, they'd have breaks. They were doing scrimmages all day. They'd have breaks, and Millsy would take the break, he'd listen to whoever was seemingly in charge, and then he'd go and do sprints. Aha. So he'd do sprints, and I was kind of shocked. But I liked it. I liked how dedicated he is to the game. Anyway, I was there for Fern. I really was. So practice ended. He did his little spinny thing. I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I noticed, and it makes me really happy. Ryan Miller cannot leave the ice without being last and without spinning. He goes and he spins. It's his ballet. I call it his pirouette. It's really, really hysterical. So then all the kids, they just congeal around him, and it's this impenetrable mob of children with cards, with jerseys, in their gear because they have practice next. and they're all there to see him, and it's so cute. They're all like, can you sign this? Can you sign that? And he's just taking it in stride. He's just wicked mellow about it. I was like, aw. Like, kids are getting caught up in his stakes, and he's trying to, like, make sure they're not dying around him. So after, I go, hey, Ryan. And he didn't hear me at first, so I go, hey, Ryan. And a little louder, and when he was more alone. And he goes, oh. And he turns around, and I say, can I give you something to keep? And he goes, yeah, sure. And a while ago, I cross-stitched this thing. The entire Miller family has gone to the university, to Michigan State, and they all played. There's 5 of them that went to Michigan State and then moved on to being professional hockey players. Kevin Miller, Kelly Miller, Kip Miller, and then the 2 brothers right now, Drew and Ryan. Drew, I don't know if anyone knows. You probably do if you know who I am and watch the blog. Drew plays for the Ducks. He was all the way over there. They play once in a while. It's really funny because there's Miller. And I'm like, ah. Anyway, so it's all in green and white, and it's got the Spartan on the bottom. So I said, here, I found it really cool that you all went to the same college. And he goes, wow, that's awesome. I was like, yeah. He's like, how long did it take you to make? And I said, 2 months. I stopped in the middle of it because I got kind of bored. He's like, wow, and he's awesome. And I said, yeah, I had to give it to you. I just moved in. I didn't know if I'd ever see you. And he's like, really? Where'd you move from? And I said, Boston. And I went to all your games, and it's amazing. And we talked about it, and then I brought out my camera, and he looked around, and he's like, someone hold this. And I was like, so he leaned in close to me, and we took the picture, and he's like, sorry I'm all gross and nasty. And that stuff doesn't bother me because I'm a bio major, and I find it amazing, and I kind of like taste and smell sweat. Sweat is spicy and salty, and I'm a geek, I'm sorry. So, and he has freckles all along his nose, and he was all and scruffy. He's scruffy, and I have a beard fetish. So I went off and I watched him. I was in shock. I was shaking. I was so excited to see him, and I'm just watching him give out autographs, and he's really fun to watch because he's not slow, but he's methodical, and I find that very attractive. So I was watching him, and then he started leaving. I didn't want to be like too weird, so we ended up leaving at the same time. He went to a different locker room than the rest of the guys, and as we're walking outdoors, I say, don't leave for 3 years. And he looks at me, and I go, and I say, I want to go to the catwalk for charity, and I'm underage. Don't leave. So he laughed at me, and then he walked off, and I bawled because I was really, really excited. I'll link to the picture in the sidebar because I think you all should see it, and I'm excited. This is going on my blog, punchbashandbison.wordpress.com, PJMB, PJ/Meg, going out.